Good morning. If you are new here, my name is Cassie and I am a mom of four who makes a lot of things from scratch in my kitchen. Today is a very busy day for me because we are prepping to go to the beach with our entire family. So I have a ton of food prep. I thought this would be kind of an interesting topic to cover for a video because when you have a big family and you're going somewhere for vacation, a lot of times you're looking at having to eat out a lot, which for us is very expensive. And also with our dietary habits, we like to make sure we're being healthy even on vacation. I'm trying to think ahead. Some things we will be buying at the beach and some things I need to bring from home. So for instance, when I'm thinking of beach food that me and my husband like, we like very light things like salads, more like appetizer type food. So we're really excited to try making some homemade crab dip at the beach. We want to do this with crab that we purchase fresh from the ocean. So I'm making mayonnaise so that we'll have the condiments to go with that. This time I decided instead of doing bread, I'm going to do a really big batch of sourdough tortillas. Sourdough tortillas are super great for things like ham and cheese roll up. I'm also going to be making some muffins because my kids love muffins. It's such an easy grab and go breakfast. The first thing that I'm going to be making today is actually not food. I have been making sunscreen, bug spray, and things like that for a while. I don't always make it. Sometimes I do order. So my reasoning for making our sunscreen at home. If you are in the low tox lifestyle or you have done a deep dive on store-bought sunscreens, then you're going to know that there are so many red flags when it comes to using most of these sunscreens. There are better products on the market now, but there's not a lot. And most of the good products are things you have to think ahead and have ordered prior to going to the beach or prior to sun exposure. And if you're a mom of four like me, or a mom of probably any number of children, you a lot of times will forget to do that, and then all of a sudden you're about to go to the park or you're about to go to the beach and you realize you're going to have to just stop by the store and buy the cheaper chemical filled unhealthy sunscreen. This is why I actually decided to buy a few products that I can make things like soap, lotion, sunscreen, diaper rash cream. It's actually super inexpensive to buy these ingredients, and once you have them, you can basically use them for a lot of different products. I will put a link to some of these ingredients. Additionally, I am not afraid of the sun. I try to avoid sunburns. We do things like covering, so my kids will wear like long sleeve swimsuits until they at least have a little bit of a base tan. Do things like avoiding sun exposure to our faces, like I try to wear a baseball cap or some type of hat to cover my face. But I'm not afraid of the sun in terms of just going out and being outside. We're pretty much outside all day, every day, and this is actually so healthy for you. Another option is buying a sunscreen from a non-tox company. I have a couple companies that I recommend. Tubes & Co. They have a beef tallow sun balm that is amazing. Then I also love Papa Bear Natural, 100% organic grass-fed beef tallow that is from the US. And I think that's so cool. So I will put the links to those if you just want to go the easy route and just buy a healthier sunscreen. Another thing that I'm going to be making that is really, really simple and avoids a lot of extra unneeded toxins is bug spray. And then I also am going to be making a before chlorine spray. Anytime we go to like a pool or we have a hot tub, anytime I get into the hot tub, I'm always thinking about how there's chemicals in there and how I'm trying so hard to remove all these chemicals from our diet and from our clothing and all these different things. And then I go jump in our hot tub or jump in a pool. There has been a study that showed that if you put vitamin C on your skin prior to chlorine exposure, it actually deactivates one of the harmful chemicals in chlorine. So I'm going to be making a super simple pre-pool, pre-hot tub spray that you can use even for kids. That's very effective in at least limiting the amount of chemical exposure when you get in chlorinated water. This recipe calls for a double boiler, which I do not have, so I just place a mason jar into some water and slowly bring that water up to a simmer and let the oils melt. Then I remove it from the heat and I add 2 tablespoons of powdered zinc oxide, While this is still liquidy, I like to pour it into the container I want to keep it in because it does solidify quite a bit as it sits. For this recipe, you can use a variety of essential oils as bug repellent. I like to use cedarwood as my personal favorite, but another great one is citronella. You can also add some eucalyptus or lavender. The only ingredients you need for this pre-chlorine spray is distilled or purified water and a little vitamin C powder. I obviously didn't use the right type of funnel to get this vitamin C powder into the bottle. I also added some rosemary essential oil because I saw a more expensive brand had added that, and some glycerin to make it a little more moisturizing. This avocado mayo recipe is so easy, but I will tell you that you need to have the immersion blender to make this turn out. I have tried doing this so many times in a regular blender and it just never turns into the good thick mayonnaise that the immersion blender creates. Thankfully, my immersion blender was very inexpensive from Amazon. I'll put the links in my description. I make these fresh milled flour sourdough tortillas every single week. They're so delicious and easy. And as always, they start with some nutritious fresh milled flour. For this recipe, I usually use hard white wheat, but you could also use soft white wheat, spelt, einkorn, really any type of flour you want for these tortillas, and they will turn out wonderfully. My starter is fed 100% fresh milled whole grain flour, so it's extra nutritious for these tortillas. I also love that a large chunk of the tortilla mixture is very fermented grains from my discard or active starter. Something I have found with tortillas is that it is very important that you get your tortillas rolled out incredibly thin for them to turn out like a tortilla and not like a cracker. I like to roll them so thin you can almost see through them. And then another trick I have found is only letting them cook for about 10 to 15 seconds per side. You don't want to overcook them or they will also get really hard and more like a cracker.
Now on to one of our family's personal favorite snack foods, fresh milled flour Cheez-Its. This recipe is so simple, has only a few ingredients, and we eat these up so fast. So I would recommend making a double or triple batch of these. I love that instead of ultra processed ingredients, I'm using whole grains, raw cheese, grass-fed butter, and a little buttermilk or whole cream to make these crackers come together. I decided to wake up a little early this morning and whip up a recipe of these bran muffins so that we could have some muffins to take on vacation with us. This recipe is actually my mom's recipe. She made this all throughout my childhood. They actually call for bran cereal, so something like Raisin Bran, but I found an organic version at the store that had ancient grains included, like millet, and was lower sugar than Raisin Bran would be. The recipe also called for sugar to be added, so I subbed out the sugar for raw honey, and then I also changed the white flour to, of course, fresh milled flour to make these a little bit more full of fiber, protein, and healthy vitamins for vacation breakfasts. According to my mom, these are called 6-week bran muffins, and the batter can be stored in the refrigerator for up to 6 weeks, and you could just take out the amount you want that morning. I've never actually tested this out, but there is buttermilk in it, and it would continue to ferment and actually probably taste better the longer you left it in the refrigerator. For this batch though, I wanted all of the muffins to be cooked and ready to go for vacation, so we went ahead and baked all of them. It ended up being about 3 dozen muffins, so we definitely got a good amount of breakfast out of this recipe. Our vacation was so amazing. We went to Bald Head Island, North Carolina, which is a adorable little island off the coast. We absolutely enjoyed every second of our time away as a family. Having food prepped for vacation was definitely much needed. We were so thankful to not have to run out to the grocery store. As usual, any place that you might vacation has extra inflated grocery prices, so we saved a lot of money by bringing some staples that we used every single day on vacation. My kids really especially love these bran muffins. I cannot recommend these enough. It made so many from just one box of bran flakes, and so I will definitely be making those again.